Humankind today is a result of centuries of civilizations. You may have heard a lot about the ancient Mesopotamian civilization that flourished amongst the rivers of Euphrates and Tigris. In a shocking turn of events, the life-giving Euphrates River has started to dry up, severely affecting the lives of millions of people living in the region. Some people believe this turn of events is signaling an impending apocalypse and the end of times. Meanwhile, scientists point out that climate change and hotter-than-average temperatures are what's causing the death of the Euphrates River, and experts warn that the river will completely dry up by the year 2040. Join us today as we investigate the truth about the Euphrates River. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button and like this video, as it's the best way to support this channel. Euphrates is the second largest river in Western Asia. Historically, the Euphrates River was a vital waterway for the Mesopotamian civilizations, including the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, who relied on the river for irrigation and transport of goods. The Euphrates River flows through Syria, Turkey, and Iraq, while it serves Jordan and Saudi Arabia as well. The river joins the Tigris before it empties into the Persian Gulf. It's about 1,730 miles long, and the basin's average size is 190,000 square miles. Typically, there is a higher water level from April to May, since there is more rainfall. Original vegetation also still survives along the river. For these areas, the Euphrates River provides drinking water, as well as water needed to sustain agriculture. Historically, 85% of Syria's agricultural demand for water has been met by the Euphrates. Not only is the river important for humans, but for animals as well, given that the river basin is home to a variety of different species. Persian sand vipers, Levantine vipers, and desert black vipers, that are considered rare species, are found in and around the Euphrates River basin. You can also see shrews, river otters, wolves, hedgehogs, and wild pigs that frequently drink water from the river. For thousands of years, the river has allowed farming communities to flourish. Although once a fruitful land, the Tigris-Euphrates River system is now drying up at a startling rate, threatening to undo everything it has done for the region so far. In just a few decades, the flow in the Euphrates-Tigris River system has decreased to almost half of the average annual flow during dry years. Satellite images show that the Tigris and Euphrates River basins had lost 144 cubic kilometers of freshwater from 2003 to 2013, leaving water levels at some of their lowest in recorded history. So what is causing the Euphrates River to dry out? Temperatures in northeastern Syria have risen by 1 degree Celsius compared to 100 years ago, and average rainfall has decreased by 18 millimeters per month per century. In 2019, Iraqi scientists stated that due to rising temperatures and declining rainfall, the water bodies in the Mesopotamian marshes were degrading, and vast areas of natural vegetation were disappearing. Iraq has since endured consecutive years of droughts. The changes in weather patterns, coupled with the human impact on the environment, could be driving the Euphrates, a cradle of civilization, to destruction, forcing people to leave a place they have called home for thousands of years. Much of this is tightly linked to the wider climate crisis facing the world. The Middle East is considered to be one of the areas most vulnerable to climate change, which is set to make the region's problems with water scarcity even worse. The main reason why the Euphrates River is drying up is low rainfall. Also, the presence of multiple dams, existing water policies, and the misuse of water resources are some other reasons. The climate crisis is not the only explanation for what is happening. Some Christians believe that the Euphrates River drying up is linked to an apocalypse as foretold in the Bible. They believe Euphrates was one of the 4 rivers that flowed out of the Garden of Eden. The book of Revelations warns that when the Euphrates River starts drying up, it is a sign that the end of times are coming, marking the second coming of Jesus Christ. Be it the climate crisis or a prophecy unfolding, the impacts of the Euphrates River drying up are hard to ignore. After more than a decade of conflict from the Syrian civil war, Many farmers are struggling with harsh economic and security conditions while having to adapt to new realities caused by the changing climate. In Syria, the government's inability to function and implement its laws exacerbates the impact of this river drying. The Euphrates River drying up has implications for political conflicts as nations fight over water supplies. This coming century has the potential to witness a number of water wars where states and militia groups battle for access to water resources from the Euphrates. According to British Medical Journal, the drying up of the Euphrates River also causes an increased risk of disease. It has forced some residents to rely on contaminated groundwater, leading to the spread of typhoid fever and cholera. More than 7 million people are affected by the river drying up. Crops are failing, which has led to around 800 families leaving the surrounding villages. Scientists are concerned about the future of the Euphrates River due to climate change, water management, and regional dynamics. The river's water could lead to reduced flow, exacerbating water scarcity, and causing social, economic, and environmental impacts in Syria, Iraq, and other nearby states. Agriculture in the region may face challenges, and lower water levels could disrupt ecosystems and wetlands. Water stress could also lead to competition and tensions among countries sharing the river, potentially escalating conflicts. Infrastructure and environmental conservation efforts may be necessary to preserve the river's health and ecosystems. Scientists warn that the river could be dry by 2040. Technical modeling studies have indicated that there will be significant decline in the water resources of the Euphrates by the end of the century, with projections up to 70%. These wide-ranging projections emphasize the uncertain future of the region's climate and hydrology, calling for more refined modeling studies adapted to the region's specific conditions. Let's now shift our focus to some recent discoveries. The drop of the water levels in the Euphrates River has uncovered many archaeological and ancient sites that were submerged beneath. The most recent among the discoveries is a large burial site dating to Byzantine times. The area also contains many cemeteries and potentially hundreds of Syriac Christian monasteries. Archaeological entities exposed include grave sites from the Assyrian Empire and the ancient city of Talbis in Iraq. Another shocking discovery includes what archaeologists believe to have been a city in the Mitanni Empire built 3,400 years ago. People in the area knew the city was there when the dam was created in the 1980s, but the buildings and artifacts that survived the city's destruction in an earthquake around 1350 BC had never been fully investigated. Parts of the city first arose from the depths during a major drought in 2018. Researchers were able to explore a lost palace with massive 22-foot-high walls, some 6 feet thick, and discovered remains of wall paintings in vibrant shades of red and blue. However, the archaeologists ultimately didn't have enough time to sufficiently map the city before the waters returned. So when drought struck again this year, a research team was assembled to explore the area again. Now, archaeologists have a clearer picture of what this ancient city might have been like, thanks to the team's mapping of numerous large buildings and uncovering of hundreds of artifacts. Among the buildings found were an industrial complex, a fortification with a wall and towers, and a multi-story storage building. The team was impressed by how well many of the walls, sometimes reaching almost 10 feet high, were preserved, despite being made of sun-dried mud and submerged for more than 40 years. Other discoveries include an ancient tunnel believed to have been constructed by Queen Semiramis of Babylon, and Haystack Castle, which features Greek inscriptions and is thought to be a temple from the pre-Christian era. Experts predict more of these ancient sites and artifacts will emerge as the water level continues to drop in the Euphrates River. These findings could provide more insight into the life of ancient inhabitants in the region. In the meantime, we must learn from what is happening on the Euphrates River. International cooperation and action are the tools for the world to adapt and confront the systemic risks that climate change creates. We are interested to hear what you think about the Euphrates River drying up. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.